Unmute myself. Good evening and welcome to Savage Universe. I am J-M, and with me tonight is Jakub. Jakub is the author, layout, designer, conceptualizer, all-around put together of Sleuth Squad, Mystery Solving Teens, which is a new 221-page book released for swag. Jakub, welcome to the show.
Hi, it's great to be here again.
Hey, thanks for, I know it's really late where you're at or really early, depending on where we're at in the timeline, but I appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, the great thing that I'm no longer a school teacher is that I don't have to get up at 8 o'clock. And so I can afford to, stay a bit late once every while. So, yeah. So okay. Yeah. If
you show something off, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Chris says I need this POD.
Here's the first printout, the only printed out copy of Sleuth Squad so far. But today I've sent the second draft. This came out extremely well. It looks great as a physical object, and I hope the next printout will be the final one. So maybe I'll get it next week, then approve it, then it will be able you'll be able to get it. And it looks real nice. Oh my god, it's too blurry, but it looks real nice as a physical object.
We'll show off the PDF because the layout is so unique and so colorful and so deeply in line with the idea of mystery solving teens.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough. Oh, yeah, thank you. I was fortunate enough to get a lot of cartoon style illustrations. I didn't close the window. Okay, let me put it up. It's oh my god, yeah. Okay, yeah, and I was lucky enough to to be able to get some great illustrations. Basically, this, some people call it Powerpuff Girls style, but I'd say it's like a 60s UPA animation, like Mr. Magoo, maybe early Hanna-Barbera.
Yes, the early Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, and a lot of this is edited by me. So I had fun, playing with the cartoon characters on the margins. Yeah, adding some ideas, adding some color. Yeah, some of those are fairly generic, but I think I made it work to be, a little bit proud of myself. Yeah, some people said that also, a lot of them are a bit too strange, but they tried to focus on, this cartoonish style. Although, of course, there are some other arts. Most of this is stock art. I try not to use AI. I cannot guarantee it, but yeah, I hope everything here is original, or arranged, assembled with other pictures by me. And sometimes you need a picture of two capybaras playing rocks, and yet there are some mentions about how to use it for superheroes. I have something about inspirations.
I was gonna say, let's
talk
about
there is some ideas on how to run how to use this book for a superhero campaign. Maybe there will be more rules in the future. I'm still thinking about some add-ons, some splats, but nothing major right now. So there are some tips and guides, but nothing really that major. I think you could use those rules in most every campaign. And there is even a sample NPC superhero, I think, which because a certain iconic group of sleuths also befriends a certain Caped Crusader. So here we have a crime-fighting superhero.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Using some super rules.
So I know at least here. So you're in Poland. I'm in Texas. I know what my source material would be for the Sleuth Squad mystery solving teams what were your inspirations? Obviously, you just mentioned, some Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
What's the inspirations here? Yes, Space Ghost. Oh my gosh! By the way,
oh yeah.
love
the
Space Ghost.
oh yes. Well, I was in the specific situation because a lot of of my childhood came about in 1990s when the communism ended. So this was this between time. You got a lot of older Western stuff, yeah, that was cheap enough for our TV stations to buy it. Yeah, we got some current Western stuff, but I also had access to a lot of things that were made during the communism in the libraries. Yeah, so yeah, we had Scooby-Doo. I think we had the original Mystery Solving Squad. Well, maybe they weren't the original because they were a copy of some other thing. Like my friend, there is a foreword by my friend David, who's actual Annie. Not Eddie, but close. Eisner Award-winning comic book historian and comic book writer, and he mentions that, for example, Scooby-Doo came from an older American sitcom, Dobby Jills. I never watched it, but we had some other patterns. Yeah, I'm not an American, and a lot of people would say that the quintessential teen detective is Nancy Drew. I never read any of those books, never heard of it, never watched any adaptation. So, didn't mention it. But we also had, we had Scooby-Doo, we had some imitators, including, Ghostbusters. And a lot of those, there were always the scheme, a group of teenagers and a wacky animated mascot. Whether a caveman, a gorilla, or a giant shark. But also I had access to a lot of Polish or other European ideas. Hardy Boys also never saw it. But interestingly enough, I did read the Three Detectives stories.
Okay. The Three Detectives. I read a lot of the Three Detectives. I wanted they're the ones who had the RV that was like buried under a pile of junk at the junkyard that was their headquarters, and I'm like, that is the coolest thing.
I think that's why there is a limo in the book. There are stats for limo as your Sleuthmobile. But I also had some Polish stuff. Let's check. And though a lot of those came from a single magazine called Świat Młodych, which was basically affiliated with Polish Boy Scouts. So scouting was a major theme in a lot of those things. That's why also Sleuth Squad has Junior Rangers. And if you know another great RPG called Grey Ranks by Jason Morningstar, you can probably learn that scouting means a lot in Polish history. But I also know those two Boy Scouts and their friendly chimpanzee didn't actually solve a lot of mysteries. But this was, Titus, the chimpanzee, is a quintessential mascot. And each comic that they came out maybe one per year, one per a couple of months. And they had a new vehicle, they had some new adventure. Yeah. The bottom left picture is they are finally making a movie. Maybe it will be available on Netflix for Western readers. So who knows? So this was something I remember from my childhood. This is all. The other creature is Plex, which is an inked blood spirit with magical powers. And this one, for a change, had some female characters. Also, this feeling of adventure of some fantastic creature that helps you, and makes your team a team. Another detective was Mr. Automobile. I'm sure if you pronounce it correctly. And that also, this was an historian, an art historian who worked for the Polish government and located um, missing works of art. And if you know Polish history, and you know how precious is anything made before 1945 to our nation. A lot of works of art were robbed, were destroyed, and this this detective's job was to find them. He had, you know, some people said he was like a Polish superhero because a superhero has had a great car, and his car, had but was both an amphibious and had a engine of a Ferrari. So it could swim. It could. It was amazingly fast. It had a lot of features. If you look at, I think it's on Netflix. The right picture is from. I think it was last year. Last year's Netflix adaptation. It's not great shakes, but I think it's watchable. You can find it on Netflix. Look for Mr. Cobb.
I feel like that's true for a lot of adaptations that have recently come out. They're not great, but they're watchable.
Yeah, I know. I probably yeah. So but also oh my god, there are also. This is why I had a lot of rules on Sleuthmobiles. Yeah, not only you want to have like a mystery machine, but you can also recreate this type of vehicle. And there were some other impressions. I think, probably from childhood books. The first on the left is Joanna Chmielewska. I think I mentioned her heroes in the book. So it was about siblings who had an exceptionally smart dog. It didn't talk. It couldn't, it wasn't like sentient, but it was amazingly smart. And they fought smugglers. They fought, and in this book, they are spoilers. They are actually trying to scare the smuggler. They are the ones who are the monster. So they are causing the crime here.
So I got a question. Can my mascot be a robot?
Absolutely. There is.
Could I do like the Venture Brothers game?
Oh my god! Yeah, absolutely. I think so. So Venture Brothers. It's a bit dark, but I loved it.
It is dark. I will say it is definitely a dark twist on the Johnny Quest teen sleuthing cartoon. A very dark twist.
Okay. I've only read a couple of books on Therese Fenton, which are from Sweden. And again, we here have a detective that adopts a couple of kids. And of course, he has a flying carpet, and he fights crime, as you have to do if you have a flying carpet, especially. And here are probably the most well-known from Europe, also European comics from France, like Spirit Fantasio or Tintin, also useful. Also using strange creatures and this kind of mysteries. And that was not my childhood, but it is coming out in Poland today, and I really like them. Those are fairly modern. The one on the left, Felix Net Inika, is from I think a couple 10 or more years ago, and the one on the right came out I think maybe last year, and those are also about middle schoolers who are basically brilliant. One is a genius hacker, one is a brilliant engineer, and Nika has psychic powers. So they mostly travel through time and space. There is a movie, I think, once again, I think you can find it on Netflix, but probably you shouldn't bother. And those are still coming out. I could say safely that I sometimes I miss one or two books, but I tend to return to those stories. So things are still coming out. There are still new things, and I try to keep up. And I tell myself it's for research. Oh my god.
Well,
Okay.
let's jump into the book. It's 220 pages, and I don't want to give the whole thing away, but it is filled with everything you need to run something in this genre. I really want to talk about the mascots and the setting rules, because for me, setting rules are really where like a book like this shines. But let's talk about mascots, and then let's talk about possibly my favorite setting rule, which is costumes get their own stats. And that is some brilliant genre inspired game design, Jacob. I love it. But let's start with the mascot rules.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you gotta have a mascot. Well, I guess if you want to have just a dog or just a cat, you can. You can swap your mascot by what? But why would you want to? Yeah. Especially if you can have them for free. I think I thought it would be the main draw, because I don't think of any other setting where you can create a talking dog or a penguin or a lion playing rock and roll. So a mascot is a cartoon creature that accompanies you. They are a communal property. A GM can role-play a mascot. Every character can take over a mascot. And first of all, a mascot is an extra baddie pool for the players. And when we started to play test it, initially the mascot wasn't supposed to be a character, but they would like to. They were a collection of stats. Yeah, so Hunter has survival and notice at D8, and you roll it. But essentially, that's the same as a character that belongs to everyone. So in the end, I made them into a character once again. So I run game design circles. Yeah, so everyone can play out as a mascot, and everyone should have a hand in creating a mascot. You go around the table. Everyone adds an edge or can level up some skills, and essentially the GM can also add a hindrance, to make the mascot more interesting. And in the end, you can roleplay it. There are also, as Kitty, the mascot of one of the other teams, mentions, a mascot can be an NPC. You could have an NPC that's just, a talking animal, but it should be rare in the campaign. And in general, the mascot is here to help you out. The mascot generates bennies. Mascots can grant you some unusual powers. And quite importantly, mascots in this setting are basically the only character that can use arcane background. So essentially, only mascots have powers. Okay, so some of those, you can have a robot. You can have some,
again. I love the art.
Yeah, you can have some real strange creatures. Oh, yeah, this is a bit. I tried, to limit myself to only a couple of stock artists, especially ones that are, very cartoonish. And I'm very saddened that I don't know the actual names of those, because it's all stock art. It's all as freebie. Okay, yeah, you can have some cute robots, and robots. Interestingly, I kind of had to simplify it, because it would be too powerful and also a bit too detailed for cartoonish games. So, for example, the old game Can't Swim Hindrance, and the undead are all hungry for something, yeah? In most G-rated games, the mascot might be a vegetarian vampire hungry for tomato juice, but it can also need emotions or bones, Sometimes I had to customize it. Okay. Yeah,
I love that. that piece right there on the screen with
Yeah.
the devil and all of the other little supernatural entities.
Yeah, this is I found it for the wicked hindrance. Yeah, wicked is this hindrance that makes your mascot a supervillain. And it was inspired by Salem from Sabrina the Teenage Witch, for example. Or maybe to a certain degree by Buzz Lightyear, who maybe he wasn't a villain, yeah, but he was a bit, problematic. Yeah, so if your mascot is this defect, and recently also a great show, the Owl House, yeah, the King of Demons. I think that's also a good example for wicked mascot. Yeah, only mascots can have powers, and there's a couple of rules of on how to flavor those, and just not to get out of hand. Okay, yeah, there are some splash pages, and I use them mostly because they're nice and I had them.
Yeah.
One is very unusual. Yeah, so a mascot is a communal property, and there are some tips on how to use it in the GM chapter. I mentioned Suede World Builder because there are also some great tips for running games with kids, also with older people. That could be quite interesting here. And I added a couple of ideas on how to use the mascot to nudge the kids to use to help them, or to to diffuse some conflicts. So the mascot is important. The mascot should be a part of the gang, and the mascot belongs to all of you. If you want, if the GM wants to, and everyone should be able to use this opportunity to make jokes or cartoon gags. Okay, this is a nice piece of art. Very nice.
You have a ton of new setting rules. And the one I really want to talk about is costumes are their own stats. And tell me if I'm understanding this correctly. This is so that Old Man Jenkins, when he's in his costume, has the stats of a monster, while he's actually being the ghost or being the werewolf or being the chupacabra.
Yeah,
the
he uses the werewolf stats.
Yeah.
Well, there are some ideas in the Bestiary chapter on how to justify it. And I say, yeah, if it's too hard to stretch, probably you shouldn't use it. Yeah, look at the before the gameplay. But most of the time, yeah, you can use the standard Savage Worlds monster to use the monster. And why is he, superhumanly strong? I don't know. Maybe it was, the momentum. Maybe it was a historical attack. Maybe that things he smashed was already rotten. But in general, yeah, the opponent should be a bit different than the villain. Yeah, the costume in Savage Worlds, you have tests now. Yeah, you can check out the stats. And a lot of GMs most GMs, I think, even prefer to, roll for the character randomly. Yeah, so it also stops metagame thinking. Yeah, for example, if someone has a D10 in strength, yeah, you don't automatically suspect the weightlifter the joke. So the NPCs, the monsters, the costume should have their own set of stats.
Awesome.
And there is a lot of rules. I crypt commercial break from Mythics, which was humanesque setting. So it's a bit different this time. It's a little bit simpler. There is a minor tweak to fear rolls. And there is a huge section on gigs. And someone mentioned the hijinks for D20. I know of it. I don't think I've seen it, but in general, I think hijinks was a D20 mini setting that basically converted D20 combat rules to giving a rock concert, and I tried to do the same, but for Savage Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of works. People were pleased, but there is, most of the time you probably don't need it. But if you're a huge geek and in your campaign you need to sway people with music, you need to play out the song, there is a robust set of rules that should help you. Oh my god, it's like 10 pages? I'm not sure.
Yeah, you have a lot of like the Battle of the Bands rules, soundtracks, all of these things, the genres with benefits. Like, again, a lot of one of the things I love about the swag program for Savage Worlds is that there is a gamut of entries into the Savage Worlds Adventuring Guild, and like this is one of the largest I've ever seen. Right, 221 pages. You have chocked this full of amazing rules and art and setting and genre and advice, and there's an adventure generator and there's a bestiary. Like this thing is full, and it's $9.99.
Yeah. Well, I kind of looked at other settings that did similar things, most notably Pine Book's Middle School.
Yes.
Yeah, which came out fairly recently. And,
mine's just off screen.
It's like basically a cover band version. No, they do actually mentioned in a lawyer-friendly way. I mean, Pinnacle technically owns this as well, but they do mention that, for example, I didn't focus on school life because
right.
Most of those bands are going from place to place, stopping at haunted carnivals, and they don't seem to spend a lot of time in school. And you have PMS for that, Pinnacle Middle School. Yeah, so you can use those. You can use those rules.
Padre and Ted both really like the costume as a its own stats specifically for this genre. Like defeat them, and then you find out it was it's always Old Man Jenkins in my head.
Yeah. And it's also something I mentioned here. Yeah. This
Schrodinger's suspect. This was a great sidebar.
Yeah. So this, probably, I researched a couple of games, and I have to, give the big hand to other games that tackle the subject. Yeah. Jinkies, it's by, I don't remember the name of the author, but it's PBTA based, and also Meddling Kids. Both are great. Both can be found on Direct RPG, and they both use this rule as generally the criminal will be the one person that's pointed out by the players. But I also come from this fairly old school gamer background with Call of Cthulhu and Warhammer Fantasy, where you want to have a prepared investigation and have the players uncover it. So this is an option here, but that's not the main rule. So the GM trapping is also a rule. Do I have this? Yeah. There are sure a lot of rules, but they're here to inspire you. Yeah, and this applies for every optional rule here. Maybe except the costumes get their own stat, because that's a core thing for the game. Okay. Oh my god.
So obviously you're attempting to sort out a couple, and I've been there. We did that with Space 1889, and oh my gosh, we went through 4 rounds of print proofs, because you would find one piece of art that wasn't colored correctly, or you'd find something wrong in a piece of layout when you saw it in a physical book. But your plan is to have POD here sometime soon. I know you have your print proof, which is just the coolest thing in the world to hold in your hands.
It looks amazing for the first proof. I only need to adjust some backgrounds of the tables. Sometimes the page numbers were missing. But in general, I only need to recolor a couple of elements. The cover should be ideally purple. It will probably end up being blue. It shouldn't be black. And the colors are okay. They are beautifully muted. Yeah, because the PDF file is RGB. It's very colorful, and it should be.
Yeah.
But you want it to be paler, it to be more balanced in the print, and it came out beautifully.
Yeah, no, it looks great.
Okay, and those sections, I love how can you see it? Yeah, I love this. I'm not sure if I know the English word for this page effect, but it came out beautifully.
So I know it's kind of a jerk thing to ask a creator who is in the process of having just released this product earlier this month and getting a POD set up. But do you have any additional plans in the future for more Sleuth Squad?
Okay, yeah, okay, can you
add that back into the stage?
Yeah, I released the pre-gens, the official. Well, I'm sure official the stats for Riddle Raiders, who are the basically the iconic characters of the game, and they're very. I try to to make them distinct, but also patterned after the most famous Mr. Solid theme. They also made as a bonus those stands, and they had a lot of fun. So maybe another character deck or a set of more figure flats will be next. I'm thinking of because in the Sleuth Squad book there is a lot of focus on bands, and because so many of the script imitators were musicians, but there are other genres I mentioned, and they want they also should be presented, but that's not for now. I'm also thinking about adventures. I think I always wanted to play something based on A Night in the Museum movie series, and I think this would work really great for Sleuth Squad. There was this animated series called I'm not sure actually, but yeah, something. There are a couple of haunted museums in the book, so maybe on and the trouble is that the first adventure is also set in a museum, so I don't want to start with it. Also, maybe an adventure set in a haunted mall, because
nice.
Yeah, but that's I haven't really started workshopping it, not even mentioned playtesting. So there will be probably stuff for it. There will be probably adventuresome add-ons. I'm not sure if if it will be like a full-scale product line or something I will write whenever I had a funny idea. And maybe there is a mini mascot edge that can give you a smaller copy of your mascot. And there will be maybe a haunted mall. Where did it go? Mini mascot. There are rules for that, and there are stats for mall, but there are stats for animated objects. So there it will be there. But yeah, maybe like the mall adventure could have some rules for using using money, earning money, having a side job. But that's just adventure. I'm just brainstorming it at the moment.
Awesome. Well, Jacob, I know it's late where you're at, and I wanted to say thank you for coming on and sharing your love of Sleuth Squad with us. It is an amazing product. I'm putting the link one more time in the chat. Go check it out for $10. It is an amazing deal. It's an amazing deal at twice that price.
Yeah.
So
and the POD, I hope, at least for now, we'll have POD will have PDF included, so it will be at the same price.
Awesome.
So regardless of whether you get it now, you'll or get the PDF later, you will have it bundled together.
Well, I'm planning on waiting to pick it up until it hits POD. I'm really looking forward to that. So thank you so much both for coming on the show and also for putting together this great love letter to this teen mystery solving drama that we all kind of love. Yeah, I agree, Ted. Good luck with this.
Yeah, thanks a lot, and see you all soon.
Well, we're going to be off next week. I'm going to be at ChupacabraCon with several of the PEG people, including Landauer himself. So if you are down in San Marcos, Texas, attending ChupacabraCon, come find us. We'll be on panels, running games, hanging out. And then on the 23rd, we'll be back with more Savage Universe, and that's going to be with John of the SavageRiffs.com people. They're doing a Savage Riffs convention, virtual convention, and we're going to be talking about that. That's going to be coming up in June. So May 23rd, we'll be back with more Savage Universe. Jacob, thanks so much for joining us. For everyone else in the chat, thanks for being involved and being a part of Savage Universe. If you're a member of the Savage Universe, you have a podcast, a YouTube channel, you're putting out fan content, swag content, or are an ace, and you have things that you want to talk about, even if it's just come on and remind us what amazing things you've done, please reach out. info@savageuniverse.com. Get an email to me, and I will get you on the schedule. So I guess that's it. Until next time, go up and play some Savage Worlds, and may all your dice
go and play Sleuth Squad.
Go play Sleuth Squad. Savage Worlds.
You're up your own talking dinosaur.
That's right.
I skateboarding.
That space dinosaur with the helmet and the rocket pack. That again, I'm with Tink. This looks so unified. It's hard to believe that it is just a stock set of things.
It's I think I've tried to limit myself to only 2 or 3 stock artists, but there are more of those. Yeah. And
hey, have Peter reach out. I would love to have Peter on. All right. Well, that brings us to an end tonight. I will talk with all of you in about 2 weeks. Until then, have a good one.